So when I was younger, my dad would take me around construction sites and he would teach me all these construction hacks and things to look out for. And the number one thing he emphasized to me was that you have to be always looking for water, because that's going to be the main problem when a person lives in his house, whether it's leaks, whether it's plumbing, whether it's flooding. And that's gonna be our main topic for today. We are at the SKYPOD 2.0 or Monterrazas Prime project, so I get to show you guys around a little bit, but first check out that view. This video is sponsored by our friends from Pioneer Pro, so we'll be talking about their products when it makes sense, kasi ito din yung ginagamit namin talaga for this project, this range of products right here. So in a typical house, marami tayong kailangan bantayan. When it comes to water, merong water from the windows, merong water from the CR, merong water that's possibly going to leak from the pool, from the balcony, from the roof, and from the second floor. And these are what we are going to be talking about, so that may peace of mind na kayo when you live in your house na. First up, it's very important to have the right slope when it comes to your roof. For us here at Monterrazas Prime, the slope is fairly low. So depending on the type of roofing that you're going to be using, meron yang proper slope na kailangan ilalagay. For example, for those clay types of roofing, the houses need to have a steeper slope. For this particular house, we wanted the clay look, but we still wanted a low slope. So ang ginawa namin, dinoble sheeting namin. Meron kaming plain roofing on the bottom and the clay looking top layer, just to make sure that we're still on spec. So make sure your roof has the right slope para makalabas agad yung tubig. This goes for gutters, and this goes for a lot more things such as your balcony. So itong balcony na to is slightly going to be sloping outside, so it can guide the water outside of the home. But you'll be hearing more about these slope things throughout the video, so watch out for that. So this is our ground floor area. That's going to be the living room. This is the dining area. And then meron tayong mga kitchen setup na ilalagay dito. But most importantly, since we're talking about leaks, this is the balcony and the swimming pool area. May imagine ko lang na I'm here inside, and then ito yung pool, and then ito yung view sa labas. Ang ganda. Pero syempre, importante that we make this area as watertight as possible to protect everything below this. So, most importantly, yung slope natin dito should be directed in a way na pupunta yung tubig agad sa drainage and wala tayong puddles. So that's fact number one. Second is choosing the right type of waterproofing. So all of this outdoor area will be waterproofed, and we're using the Water-Tite 103. It's a flexible cementitious waterproofing. So this is medyo heavy duty siya, but since we're going to be placing tiles on top of it, hindi siya nagagasgas palagi. So this is a good choice for areas na medyo heavy duty, but meron tayong tiles na ilalagay on top or something on top na walang mechanical na abrasion palagi on this area. So we're going to be using that here and on the pool area. After that, meron pa tayong gagawin. We're going to close off this entire area. Parang gagawin natin tong maliit na swimming pool, pati yung balcony, and we're going to do what's called flood testing. We're gonna flood this whole thing in and look below kung meron bang leak, just to make sure that we have applied this very, very well. So that's one way to make sure na pagpasok mo sa loob ng bahay mo, when you're ready to live, wala na talaga siyang leaks. We're here in the bathroom of the master bedroom, wherein papakita ko sa inyo kung saan palagi tayong nagkamali and lumalabas yung mga leaks. Siyempre, bathroom, di ba? This is our shower area, and this portion will be the lavatory area, and this is going to be a bathtub right here, facing that view. But the most important thing is ma-waterproof din natin yung floor up to about 1 feet here because this is going to be a wet area when we clean the bathroom. Kailangan may waterproofing tayo about a foot from sa taas dito. And dito palaging nagli-leak yung mga drainage natin. Bakit? Most of the time, these drainage lines, waterproof din natin. Paminsan, ililipat to make sure it fits the bathtub or whatever you're going to put here. Pag nilipat to and then you don't waterproof again, magkakaproblema tayo with the joints here. And this is where most of the leaks will go down to the ground floor area. But for this, ang gagamitin natin dito is this Powerflex from Pioneer Pro. Ito yung perfect for small areas, no waterproofing. And this is what we're going to be using right here. So this is going to be our shower area for the master bathroom. And if you notice, marami tong joints and mga connections. And this goes all over the house. And this is also prone to leaking. What we're doing to make sure na walang leak is do a pressure test. Basically, we fill this up with water and meron tayong device na may pressure siya and may gauge. Meaning, pag meron na tayong saktong pressure na nilalagay in all pipes, it should be able to maintain that pressure. If bumababa yung pressure or may makikita tayong leaks dito sa mga joints, that means we have to repair them to make sure na wala talagang problema lahat ng mga water lines natin. In the future, this area is going to be a family area where in the second floor, pwede kayong mag-lounge, mag-watch ng TV with the kids and everyone else. These are all the bedrooms facing the view on that side. But most importantly, we're here because I want to show you something we did to the window area para hindi mag-leak yung bahay natin. This is what you call a RABBET. Basically, it's an indentation para when there's water that's coming in here, kahit may bagyo pa, meron tayong physical barrier that stops the water from going up and into your home. So this is how it works. Imagine if this will be the completed window. The completed window would be placed just outside of this RABBET, meaning yung sealant ko dito and yung sealant ko dito will help keep the water out, but the RABBET will make sure it stays out talaga even if mag-fail yung sealant natin. So imagine if dito lang natin nilalagay and this is just completely flat, wala to. If your sealant breaks or nag-fail, diretso yun papasok yung tubig sa loob. So that's why it's very, very important to have this as a fail-safe. We're here at our basement area and it's massive. It's about the size of a badminton court right here. The future homeowners of this can convert this area into whatever they want. They want a movie theater, they want a garage for their bikes or like their hobbies, a gym, pwede. And it still has that perfect view over there. Makikita ko si SMC side, pati na yung tinur natin na CC Lex Bridge, makikita dito very, very clearly. But we're here because we want to talk about this wall right here. Siyempre, underground na tayo and behind this is a retaining wall. Behind this is a lot of soil. So we need to be waterproofing this wall. Ang ginamit namin dito is this Pioneer Water-Tite 101. And if you notice, nakalagay siya crystalline capillary waterproofing. This is perfect for underground scenarios. So the best thing to do with this one is place it on the positive side. So ano yung positive and negative side when it comes to waterproofing? Example, if this was your retaining wall, dito yung waterproofing natin, tapos dito yung pressure ng tubig nang gagaling. So tinutulak yung waterproofing natin into the wall. That's positive. That's exactly the same concept as yung mga swimming pools natin, di ba? Positive siya. But the beauty of Water-Tite 101, it's crystalline capillary waterproofing. So meaning, pwede siyang ilagay on the negative side. So tinutulak siya palabas, kaya niyang kumapit. In this scenario, if for example, nakalimutan naming mag-waterproof on that side, or, uy, meron pang mga tubig-tubig na nakikita natin. Sige, waterproof na rin natin on this side. Pwede yan si Water-Tite 101. Siyempre, ang daming mga klase nito. And ano ba yung mga Water-Tite 101, 104, meron pang mga Powerflex, etc. etc. To be perfectly honest guys, kahit ako naguguluhan pa minsan, hindi ko maalala lahat nito. That's why si Pioneer, meron silang team of angels to make sure that everything I'm saying sakto. And kayo rin, pag nahirapan kayo, meron naman talaga silang technical support that have been very, very supportive when it comes to knowing which product to place where and making sure that it is applied correctly to make sure sakto talaga lahat. The one thing na meron kadalasan ng bahay dito sa Pilipinas na wala kami is a gutter. Because yung architect namin, Singaporean trained, sila LLG architects, sanay sila na gutterless design. And that is because we don't want leaks and we want to avoid puddles na pwedeng dun yung mosquito. So this one is a very seamless gutter design. But if you do have gutters in your home, make sure to check them often na walang mga leaves and mga blockages. And make sure when you're still constructing them, it's sloped properly para iwas sa leaks. That's it guys. I hope I've been able to share to you some snippets of what it takes to make sure you have a leak-proof and watertight house. And thank you for visiting our development, the Monterrazas Prime development. So if you're interested, I'll put links down below. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, especially when it comes to the environmental impact on these developments. Meron din tayong ginagawa. I'll also put a link down below on what we did to mitigate the environmental impact of this project. Plus, we'll be doing more content and a full tour of this house right here when it's almost done and when it's done. So make sure to subscribe down below. And that's it for me for today. I'll see you later.